lovely, if a little bit flooded. Oh, welcome to this week's video for coffee time. Isn't it amazing how you spend most of the time at work looking out the window or driving to work, and it's really quite nice, as it has been the last couple of days, and then as soon as you get a day off, it's just dull, overcast, and just, well, horrible light. I've come to see if I can find out a little bit more information about the site where I filmed the short-eared owls before Christmas. So I may stay here to the evening to see if I can get them. But I'm wanting to have a look around just to see if there's anything else that's around here. There's bound to be. It seems a lovely place. But interestingly, I've had to just dump the stuff down because as I came in to the moor, there were two short-eared owls up. Very unusual. Normally they're here just in the evenings. So I spent a bit of time doing a little bit of filming. The two birds were only up for 15 or so minutes, but it gave me a bit of a chance to have a play with the settings. Initially, I was shooting in 4K, but then switched over to, I think, my favourite setting, which is the sort of HD, which I can slow down 4 times. One of the settings I wanted to experiment with on the Sonys is the shift sensitivity. I've set it to 1 which is locked on, and the transition speed I've set to its fastest, which is 7. So the idea is it keeps as sticky as possible onto the bird, even when it passes behind sort of hawthorns and the bramble bushes, and then hopefully keeps hold of it. And if it does lose the bird, then with the transition speed being 7, it picks it up pretty quickly. So my initial thoughts, just a few minutes that the birds were up in the morning, was quite positive. So, like I say, have a bit of a wander around. Hopefully they might come out again this evening. I don't think I'm going to get any better light as with the first video that I shot, but at least it'll be a little bit of practice doing the videoing, and hopefully try and get the settings right. So let's see what comes. So walking around the venue, really pleased to see these stonechats. So although it was a pretty dull day, what was in my favour, there was no direct sunlight, which really meant that it showed these birds off to their best. And I noticed this Fieldfare feeding off on the hawthorn berries. A little bit difficult to get them in focus between the branches. but conveniently he flew off to another bush. So on this dull day, they came out quite early, about 1:30, 2ish. It gave me a real good opportunity to test out these camera settings and gave me a real bit of confidence flying low across the moor, in and out of the hawthorns and brambles. And it appears as if the camera settings were working well for me. As the bird moved across the moor, I could sense it was approaching some of the larger brambles, and I felt it give the camera a good test. As it dropped here, waited for it to come back up again, thinking this really is going to be a test. So I've decided to set these settings up on a quick recall function button, so I can change them from when I'm filming the birds like this, and then when I'm wanting to do some B-roll where I want a more softer transition. I like this end of the moor because there are more opportunities for the birds to perch, whereas the opposite end is much more open, and therefore you don't have the issue of the birds losing track of them behind the bushes and the hawthorns. It's just a bit more interesting with them flying around the bushes and the obstacles. The difficulty I have was the way in which they flew literally all around me, so I had to get my tripod set up so that the legs were pretty close together. So as I circled around the tripod, I didn't kick it. Well, I must admit, despite the dull day, I'm really successful. Really pleased with the settings and how I filmed the birds. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe. And as always, it'd be lovely for you to join me for a cup of coffee in the next one.